This is an article about Nancy Pelosi going after Facebook for not removing a doctored video of her that makes her look drunk or impaired. I have not seen this video. From what I hear, it makes her look ridiculous. I personally believe that Nancy Pelosi doesn't need to have any help, doesn't need help to look any more ridiculous than she already does. But okay, maybe she does look worse. Apparently, this was a video that was posted on Facebook. It was posted by some random person. It wasn't, excuse me, it wasn't anybody from, the Republican Party. It wasn't any kind of like prominent conservative or right winger. It was just some random person. I think he's actually an African American Trump supporter, I believe. And apparently, Facebook refused to take it down because they said it wasn't violating any of their rules. So let's take a look here. It says the title of the article is Pelosi slams Facebook for not taking down doctor video that makes her look drunk or impaired. The article is from May 30th. It says, when a doctored video of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, one altered to show the Democratic leader slurring her words, began making the rounds on Facebook last week, the social network didn't take it down. Instead, it downranked the video, a behind-the-scenes move intended to limit its spread. That outraged some people who believe Facebook should do more to clamp down on misinformation. Pelosi derided Facebook Wednesday for not taking down the video, even though the social media giant knows it is false. But the company and some civil libertarians warned that Facebook could evolve into an unaccountable censor if it's forced to make judgment calls on the veracity of text, photos, or videos. The altered video had been slowed down, giving the false impression that Pelosi was drunk, ill, or otherwise impaired. As of Wednesday, the video shared on Facebook by the group Politics Watchdog had been viewed nearly 3 million times and shared more than 48,000 times. By contrast, other videos posted by this group in the past haven't had more than a few thousand views apiece. Yeah, well, that can happen. I mean, I've seen people with I've seen accounts on Twitter and stuff where they have very small amount of followers, but then a video or a picture or something or a tweet they post, all of a sudden it gets a ton of attention. So sometimes that stuff gets spread very easily, and sometimes it doesn't. Continuing on here, it says Pelosi said in San Francisco that she is no longer giving Facebook the benefit of the doubt, that it is unwittingly spreading false information. She said Facebook is serving an accomplice, an enabler of false information and Russian elections interference. Typical Russiagate bullshit. Experts say the video shows the power of what are called deep fakes. Hani Farid, a professor of computer science at the University of California, Berkeley, told CBS News' Jeff Peegs that the video is just the tip of the iceberg of how videos and images can be manipulated. The video is really a pretty low-tech fake, Farid said. Most standard one is to take an image or a video of a person candidate for president, and alter it to make it look like they are saying something that they never did. Facebook has long resisted making declarations about the truthfulness of posts that could open it up to charges of censorship or political bias. It manages to get itself in enough trouble simply trying to enforce more basic rules in difficult cases, such as the time a straightforward application of its ban on nudity led it to remove an iconic Vietnam War photo of a naked girl fleeing up a napalm attack. I remember that. Yeah, that's a famous picture, actually. Yeah, it's a little kid. It's not even like a woman. It sounds like a grown woman, too. It backed down after criticism from the Prime Minister of Norway, among others. Yeah, I mean, the rest of the article just pretty much details how Facebook hasn't been involved in this kind of censorship, free speech kind of debate, which we're going to be getting to on another issue in another segment here. It also mentions how right-wingers are saying that Facebook is biased against, so conservatives think Facebook is biased against them, which I don't know if it's true. Maybe it is, I don't know, but they're probably trying to appease both sides, honestly. I wouldn't be surprised. It says Twitter has not removed the Pelosi video and declined comment on its handling of it, but YouTube inked it down, okay, pointing to community guidelines that prohibit spam, deceptive practices, and scams. So Facebook and Google, which is owned by YouTube, YouTube is owned by Google, so Google decided to remove it. Google slash YouTube decided to remove it. Facebook, which is not owned by another company, they decided not to remove it. So that's an interesting juxtaposition there. Yeah, it says Facebook has a similar policy that prohibits the use of, quote, misleading and inaccurate information. None of these companies explicitly prohibit false news, although Facebook notes that it significantly reduces the distribution of such posts by pushing them in lower news feeds. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if YouTube does that. I know Twitter does that with like some tweets. Yeah, it says CNN spoke to somebody for Facebook, and I think I remember watching part of that interview where the woman was defending their position and stuff. Yeah. So anyway, listen. This specific story regarding Nancy Pelosi. This is a situation where Pelosi's ego, which is a ridiculously big ego, is getting in the way of her, or is affecting her, her judgment, essentially. And it's all about her trying to like clear her name and not make her look like an idiot. Like I said, Nancy Pelosi already looks like an idiot and sounds like an idiot and doesn't need any help by a doctored video. Now, I understand her wanting to not look any worse than she already does, although I'm sure she thinks she looks great when she speaks and makes statements. But I understand, like, if there was a video of me looking drunk, I probably wouldn't want it to be out there either. But at the same time, it's like, we've got so many bigger issues to deal with in this country. Nancy Pelosi recently, talked about how she's, backing, more anti-abortion candidates, and how there shouldn't be a purity on the issue of abortion, even though she's a female she's a female Speaker of the House, fawned over by all these female voters out there who laud her as being this wonderful person that stands up for women's rights and stuff. Then she's going and saying it's okay if we compromise on abortion rights, and the kind of that whole kind of debate. And it's okay, we can support a right winger. The right winger is Dan Lipinski, who's a current member of Congress in Illinois, and she says, oh no, we can support him, and that's only because like Lipinski is probably in a district that's like very right wing, but it's like she's okay with like that. Like, it's okay if we have somebody that's anti-abortion in that specific state because we have to get that guy elected. So, but that's not. But what I'm saying is though that like this is all about her ego. So we've got all these other issues going on in this country. We're involved in 8 different wars right now. People continue to die from lack of health care. People are dying on the streets. The homeless people are dying on the streets. 500,000 people are homeless on the streets. People are going bankrupt from everything from healthcare bills to people can't pay their rent sometimes. People can't keep their lights on. We've got all these fucking issues. Tuition, for Christ's sake. Children are kids are they can't pay their student loans. They're drowned in student loan debt like crazy. And this woman is worrying about her fucking video of her on Facebook or whatever, on social media, that makes her look bad. Like, is that serious? Like, that's what I'm saying, though. It's all about her ego. It's all about her not looking good and her, like, looking like an idiot. And then she needs to save her fucking ass from looking any dumber and any worse. So she's going to go and demand that that picture, that video get removed because she looks drunk. So, I mean, honestly, again, if that was me, I wouldn't like it either. But at the end of the day, it's like the fact that people are willing to put so much attention and obsess over, and I'm referring to right wingers here, the fact that they are so happy to obsess over Nancy Pelosi, who's obviously just a centrist corporate, neoliberal. The fact that they obsess over her so much, and then she allows them to get under their skin is just. It just shows how the priorities of the Democratic Party are all over the place. And none of it is focused on actual issues. All of it is focused on them, on them and their reputations, and how they look to the public, how they look out to outside, outside of observers that see them. So, if Nancy Pelosi wants to, continue worrying about doctored videos of her on Facebook and social media, the less we're going to worry about real issues out there, which she never really worries about anyway. So Nancy is she doesn't give a shit about addressing actual issues. She just wants to worry about, making herself look better. And if that gets in the way of progress for actual problems that we're having in this country, then so be it. Keep letting people be homeless. Keep letting people die from lack of healthcare. Keep letting students drown in student loan debt. Who gives a fuck? Nancy Pelosi looks drunk on a video. So let's go and censor that video and then go further down the rabbit hole of censorship and free speech. And yeah, so that's clearly such a big issue right now that, there's so many doctored videos out there of Nancy Pelosi doing shit. And if we don't get rid of that, our country's gonna be taken over by the Russians. Using that stupid fucking Russiagate bullshit. Ugh. So yeah, man, I don't know. This just shows what a clown the Democratic Party and what a joke they are, and how pathetic Nancy Pelosi continues to show herself to be.